So what are some more Gen X things that we used to be able to do back in the day that we cannot do today? Well, stick around because today I'm reading your comments from my last video.
All I need are some tasty waves, cool buzz, and I'm fine.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Graham, and I am back with another video. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to all of the people in this one video right here. Has gone, I guess, a little viral. As of the recording of this video, it is over 25,000 views currently with quite a lot of comments, and I've loved reading every one of them, the good and the bad. I do appreciate the comments. I appreciate the people following the channel, and I do have a goal. I'm almost halfway to 1,000. I'm approaching 500 subscribers, and if you can really help me out by subscribing to the channel and liking this video to get me to that elusive 1,000 subscriber mark, that is a benchmark on YouTube, I'd really appreciate it. So in today's video, I kind of wanted to go through some of these comments because there are a lot of things that we did that I completely forgot about. Obviously, you know, it was a long video that I put up before. This won't be as long, but I highlighted out of the hundreds, probably about 10 comments that I thought were really cool that I did do myself and that I do remember. And so let's take a trip down memory lane and see if you remember them too. So I'm going to be putting the comments up, a screenshot of the comment. So this first comment is Gen X here. My school playground wasn't ground up tires or wood mulch. It was asphalt. And so how many of us remember it almost seemed like it was already ancient playground by the time we were playing on it in the late 70s or early 80s. It was already rusted up. Bolts were exposed. And yeah, we had asphalt or we had concrete. So if we're on the monkey bars and we were messing around, or we were on that merry-go-round that somebody would try to spin to fling people off of it all over the place, when you hit the ground, it hurt. And so I thought that that was just an awesome comment of something that I completely forgot about. Also, when you go down the slide in Texas and it's 105 degrees, first of all, the slides were super sloped, not like the ones today that are, you know, quite frankly, they are safer. But if you were wearing shorts and you would just streak down that and burn the back of your legs and then shoot off the end of it because it was so steep. Okay, so moving on to the next one. And I'm reading them off on my laptop here. Kevin here says, every parent in the neighborhood being allowed to parent you. You stepped out of line. There was a gauntlet of beatings coming. The neighbor, then mom, and then dad when they got home. And that belt made the unmistakable sound as it cleared belt loops. 100%. At least when I was in school in Texas, we had what they call corporal punishment. So if we messed up in school, we would get licks with a paddle. Some teachers made you drop your pants to where you're in your underwear. Sometimes the coaches did that. Some of the paddles had drill holes through it to, I guess, make the air pass through it a little bit better. And so not only did you get your ass reamed at school, you'd go home. And then in my case, my mom was normally working a couple jobs. So my babysitter after school was either my grandmother or my aunt. And they would take turns, not both the same night. But some days it would be my aunt, some days it would be my grandmother, and they would whoop my ass again, either with a belt. My grandmother was old school. She made me go and pick an oleander switch off of the bush, pick the leaves off of it, and then she would literally whip my ass with it. But half the time they missed my ass and they got my legs. So I know that sounds horrible. It sounds cruel. Kind of is. Hurt like hell. But it was something that happened back in the day. And if you went over to little Johnny's house to stay the night and you were disrespectful or you did something wrong, sometimes those parents did have permission from your parents to whoop your ass as well, send you home early for the night, and then you get another ass whooping from your mom or your dad when you got home. All right, next one is from Mia R659. Making a mixtape of your favorite music recorded from the radio. Not too long ago, I think maybe a little over a year ago, on my Instagram, I made my son, my youngest one, a mixtape because I bought him a cassette player stereo for his room, and he didn't have any cassettes. So I sat down and recorded side A and side B of some of the best compilation of different music. Took me well over an hour. So that was a thing. If you followed my channel before, you see that I have a video and I have a cassette player. I added a cassette player into one of my newer vehicles. So I actually do have a mixtape. and I play tapes in it all the time. But making a mixtape was fun. I know back in the day, if you remember, the DJs would always talk over the beginning of the damn song. So if you had a new song, and they knew right when to shut up, right before the lyrics started in the song. And so you're always sitting there. If you had a mixtape from the radio, you always had the first part of the song starting with the DJ and kind of ending with the DJ. Every so often, you got very, very lucky, and it was your song was played right after another one. No DJ break, no commercial break, and you were able to get a really, really good quality sound song on your tape. Alrighty, next one is from Chad Dees. I wonder if kids still sit down and play board games. I think it's all video games now. Families don't have game night anymore. I'm sure people still play cards, but it's the older cats. Well, I'm sure, my son, all of my children play a lot of video games. I would probably play them more, but at my age now, for whatever reason, I get vertigo when I play these newer games. So I kind of have to play Nintendo or Sega that go side to side, and it doesn't get me nauseous. But my youngest son, when he does come over every other weekend, we do play board games. We have Boggle, we have Scrabble, we have Yahtzee. I mean, we have a ton of them. Interestingly enough, he likes to play Cards Against Humanity, which is what my wife likes to play. I get it. It's kind of a raunchy game. It's kind of funny, but I don't know. I don't really like it too much, but he plays it, and we sit there. We have a card table, fold it out, put the chairs out, and we do have our game nights. And Boggle was one of the newer ones that we got, and we played them, and it actually is fun. He enjoys it. Yahtzee, and again, like those older games, like Yahtzee is something that really helps him with math. And it also helps him be a good card player because it's just like playing poker. All right, next one is from this person. I don't want to try to butcher that, but says, I had forgotten the bar of soap in the mouth. She's responding to another post. In my case, it was a bar of Irish Spring, which is why soapy perfumes make me want to gag even to this day. I'm pretty sure we all remember the movie A Christmas Story, where he has, I think it's a pink bar of soap in his mouth. That was a thing. I remember mine was, I think it was the white one. Was that Dove? I don't know. Probably a reason why I don't like bar soap. I use body wash. I've used body wash for years. I just do not like bar soap. I mean, I like the smell of Irish Spring, but I've had it in my mouth before from saying cuss words. And once they take that bar soap out, that taste just doesn't leave your mouth for the longest time. It's pretty freaking gross. But yeah, that was something that maybe a good thing that we forgot about. Because to me, that was pure torture and punishment. I would rather take the licks than have to stick a bar of soap in my mouth. Alrighty, next comment is from Ronnie. He says, or she, oh, that reminds me of the Kodak 35mm cameras and then going to a Thrifty or Rite Aid to get the pictures developed. Also, there were so many mom and pops 1 hour photo development businesses. You could literally make a living developing photos. I specifically remember, the Fox, I think it was Fox Photo, and they were always in these little booths, these little trailers or whatever in the parking lot of a bigger strip center. In San Antonio, over the years, those eventually, I remember people turned them into like small T-Mobile stores, or they were turned into coffee shops. I see a lot of them still had been coffee shops. So it's kind of in 2024 when you drive by a parking lot and you see one of those in there, you see it's a coffee shop, you know it used to be a photo mat. I do think that is cool, the fact that you could make a living developing photos. I still am a little old school. I do print my photos. So I take them to, I think it's CVS or Walgreens. They have a computer. You take a flash drive, take it in there, and you're able to print up on photo paper. That way you're not blowing up your ink costs. Pretty good. I still do like to make photo albums when my wife and I travel to different parts of the world. It's fun to just open up a photo album and flick through the photos and say, oh yeah, I remember that. Because let's face it, a lot of times if you've got 5,000 photos on your cell phone, you don't really ever go through them. Just like you don't really ever go through photo albums that much, but there's just something special like cracking a book open and seeing the memories laid out. Alrighty, next one is Faith in Jesus 7817 says, when we were elementary school kids, we stayed out until dark, built tree forts, riding our bikes all over, going to the lake, creating things to play with, and just overall being free. That was the case, in the mornings, at least for us. you know, it's a catch-22. If you stay at home, mom and dad's going to make you do chores. They're going to make you mow the lawn. They're going to make you rake leaves. They're going to make you clean the house. So it was just common sense for us to get out of the house as soon as we woke up, watch our Saturday morning cartoons, eat our bowl of cereal, call some friends on the landline, and then head over there and literally be gone. I mean, they had no idea where we were at. That's when we would end up going to the mall. We'd go to the park, get ourselves in a lot of trouble. Didn't get caught, but we did some things. And it was just great. Then you come home at dusk. They say, your mom say, make sure you get home before the street light comes on. And we did. We built forts. We climbed trees. We just did all sorts of stuff because obviously we didn't have a cell phone attached to us and we didn't have 300 choices of cable to choose from. And the next one, my stepdad, this is from Matt M. My stepdad gave me a pocket knife for my birthday at 9. That would never happen today. We did play with pocket knives. We had pocket knives. I'm pretty sure I played with them at 9. I was whittling stuff at 9. But I distinctly remember going to high school in a small town where we showed up with pocket knives on our belt loops and drove to school. Not me, but people would drive to school in their trucks, because this was in the country, with rifles in their gun racks, in their cars, in the school parking lot. So, and you know what? They were never used in school. Unfortunately, that's not the case today. However, they showed up with them in their cars, and a lot of times you didn't even lock your car doors back then because people found out. You knew who each car was, you knew who it belonged to, and you knew what was going to wind up happening to you if you were dumb enough to get caught or be seen stealing something from their car. But yeah. And we have just a couple more for you. This one is from El Hombre here. It says, I recall ordering pizzas, taxis, and a tow truck for my neighbors, none of which were needed. Then I'd peek out the window, watching the confusion as they all showed up at the same time. Freaking hilarious. See, back before there was caller ID and what was it, star 69, where you can redial, you were able to do that. I can't say I ever did that, but when I showed this post to my wife, she said, "Oh yeah," because she was crazy. She's still crazy. She's like, "Yeah, we used to do that." Except they would always call a pizza. But she even said that she called, I guess, the cops for a domestic disturbance or something like that. But she also lived in the nicest zip code in San Antonio at the time. So I doubt that anything bad came of that. But she said she never called a tow truck. She said she called other people, or she might have called a cab, but never a tow truck. But just imagine doing it, and there's no way to track it. There is no way to track that somebody did that. I know today that sounds kind of shitty, and it was shitty, but you know what? We were still able to do it, and I think that that's hilarious, and that is something that I remember friends doing, or might have been at their house while they did it. But I can honestly say I don't remember ever picking up the phone and dialing, calling a cab or a pizza and sending it to my neighbor's house. But absolutely epic, super great. And last but not least, I saved this one specifically for last just because it is something that I used to do all the time. And I think we can all remember a certain commercial that reminded us of that. And Rolfalar says, using the payphone to call home collect and saying, "Mom, we're ready to be picked up at," in my case, it would be the skating rink, "as your name. Do you think payphones even exist anymore?" I don't know. I mean, I think they do somewhere. I'm sure they're still around. But we like to watch a lot of true crime shows on Netflix. And when there's people in prison, it's you always hear when they're dialing in, they're recording it. Would you like to, it's a collect call from such and such penitentiary. Do you accept the charges? And so, yeah, that's exactly how it was back in the day. I think we can all remember this Geico commercial, right?
Collect call, please. First name Bob. Last name is We Oughta Baby Eats a Boy.
Hello?
Collect call for Mr. Bob. We Oughta Baby Eats a Boy.
Sorry, wrong number.
Who's that, dear?
Bob, they had a baby. It's a boy.
If you like saving money.
So yeah, it was the same thing. We would get money, get dropped off at the skating rink, not just skate. We'd buy concessions, and there was always some video games at the skating rink. So if we used up all of our quarters, we would just go to the payphone, pick it up, make a collect call. Of course, Mom already knew this, and it was a real life operator up to the point where when you say I need to make a collect call, you give her the phone number. Then I think it becomes a robot or a digital dialer at that point in time, to where a computer voice would say say your first name, say your last name, and it would just simply be mom, skating rink, or just skating rink. I mean, that was kind of code to know she knew what we were wanting. She answers the phone. You say wrong number, or you just hang it up. You don't accept the charges, and that was her way of knowing we were ready to be picked up. So that's just a handful of them. There are a lot of other great ones. Maybe I'll make a part 3 to this further on down the road. But I really do, again, appreciate all of the comments that I got. And if you've been around this long, watching to the end of this video, again, I really do appreciate you. If I've earned your subscription, please consider subscribing to the channel, helping me get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. Like the video, share the video, hit that bell notification. That way you're notified when I put up a new video. So with that said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.